instructors at Family Dog Training Center in Kent. And today we have a group that is going to be showing us and talking about therapy work with their animals. As we get started, I want to just introduce some of my wonderful volunteers. Starting on the left in the green robe is Robin. She's a pet partner therapy team with her dog Story. We have Stephanie in the blue vest. She is a longtime competitor with her dogs Latte and Deacon, and she's also a student at Family Dog. We have Jan. She is a therapy team with Alliance of Therapy Dogs with her dog Brady. We have Ingrida. She's an instructor at Family Dog Training Center, and she also competes with her dogs Boddington, Rupert, and Kirby. We have Donna and her dog Jazz, longtime students with us, and she does a lot of our neutral dog exercises with us. Finally, we have our therapy animal teams. I apologize if I say therapy dog. This is therapy animals. So I'm going to let Karen introduce herself and Sammy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Hawksbergen. My fuzzy buddy here is Sammy. We rescued him in 2014. We started taking lessons a few weeks later, and we've been taking lessons at Family Dogs since then. We've had home obedience, competition obedience. We do agility on Tuesday nights, rally on Friday nights. He is my instruction partner during Monday nights home obedience classes, and he and I achieved our therapy dog registration in 2016, and we are now registered pet partners for therapy dog training. Thank you for coming.
Hello, my name is Lori, and this is my pig Amy. So in the last year we came and did demos at Seattle Kennel Club, and we did some different stuff. This year we're doing a therapy demo because in the past year, believe it or not, she has now become a therapy animal, visiting 2 places. About once a month she does a visit to some retirement centers. So, and you have to excuse us, sometimes she gets a little anxious, and I have to step aside and manage my pig. So I'm going to give this back to Diana.
All right, again, welcome. We hope you have fun. I hope you learned something about therapy work as well. I've been a Pet Partners therapy team with 2 of my dogs for 10 years. We go to Mary Bridge Children's Hospital. My older dog, Harley, who just retired 3 weeks ago, has been going for 10 years. And my younger dog, Piper, who if you stop by our booth, you'll get to meet her a little bit later. She's been doing it for 2 years. I want to talk just very briefly about some of the benefits of therapy work. There have been a lot of scientific studies done that show that therapy animal work interacting with humans can decrease pain, blood pressure, heart rate, anxiety, lower stress, grief, senses of isolation, and loneliness. On the positive side, it can do things like increase positive social interactions. So for people who are maybe incarcerated, people that have behavioral problems, mental health problems, autism, it can increase and improve their social interactions by interacting with a therapy animal. Some of the things that the therapy animals need to be able to do is, first of all, as Sammy and Amy and Lori are demonstrating, they have to have good, solid obedience skills. So they have to do their sit, down, come, stay, all of the basic things that you would want any dog to learn or any animal to learn. However, Pet Partners actually registers 9 different species of animals, not just dogs. Cats, rabbits, llamas, mini horses, pigs, a couple of others I'm not thinking of at the moment. Some of the other animals other than dogs don't have to do all the same exercises. For example, Amy is kind of special. She knows how to sit. That's unusual for a pig. But most therapy pigs don't have to do a sit. They do have to do a solid stay, a solid come, handling, that type of thing. So basic solid interactions. They also have to have good public skills manners. So for example, when people want to come up and pet your dogs, they need to be able to know how to hold themselves still. So we have a couple people demonstrating how they can come and say hi to Sammy and to Amy.
you want to move to these seats over here?
And notice how they approach from a distance. They ask permission to pet their dog. And then the handler is going to guide them as to how best to approach their dog. Big noises can happen sometimes. They need to be able to tolerate lots of kinds of different interactions. People that don't walk normally, different kinds of equipment, people that maybe approach that might be just a little on the edge of hyper. Dogs and animals need to be able to function around other animals. So in their therapy work, you may do it as groups. So there may be other dogs or other animals involved in their work as well. So Jazz and Donna are going to demonstrate with Sammy and with Amy how passing another animal, everybody minds their own business. Everybody's just out enjoying the day, walking by to say hi. Not even a big deal. Amy says, I'm good. Sometimes you'll have people that want to come up and pet really crazy. They come running to you and say, oh my goodness. And do you notice how Karen's helping Ingrita know how to pet her dog appropriately? Sammy's got a really good temperament. She says it doesn't matter how crazy you are. It is Karen's job to make sure that person is interacting with her appropriately, calming, and keeping Sammy calm at the same time. A really important part of therapy animal work for the handler. The handler needs to be always and ever an advocate for their dog. So if something is happening inappropriate with that dog, or something that they can tell their dog is a little stressed, they need to be able to say, hang on just a second, let me reposition my animal. Would you like to pet my animal this way? I think she likes it when you pet her on this part of her body. So doing all of those things are going to keep their animals relaxed and happy during that visit. It's important for the handlers to know stress signals for their animal. For example, my two dogs exhibit stress signals completely differently. My older dog, Harley, if she becomes stressed while we're at the hospital, her sign for me is she will stand up calmly and she will put her head right between my knees and she will just stand there calmly. That's her way to say, Mom, a little overwhelming, so I need to redirect. My younger dog, Piper, simply looks at me, becomes statue still, and doesn't move a hair on her body. So that's for me how I know that she's a little bit stressed. We've got a lot of stuff going on over there. All right. We're going to be role-playing some scenarios for you. I want you to be able to... Hang on, we're going to pause for just a second. We've got a party going over there. All right. All right. See, we're ready for everything. So I wanted just to be able to demonstrate for you when I do the therapy dog workshops, which, by the way, I'm going to be holding one next Saturday, March 18th, from 1 to 3:30 at Family Dog Training Center. Whether you have a dog now that you think might be ready to go on to therapy work, whether you're thinking about doing it in the future, you don't have a dog yet, or you have a puppy, you're welcome to come to the therapy dog workshop, and we'll talk about in more detail everything that's involved. And I usually have volunteers from a lot of different therapy work areas that come and talk to you as well. So what I'd like to do based on my workshops and what the feedback I've gotten is, I want to demonstrate different types of scenarios that your therapy animal might interact with. So this is where I'm going to have my actors come over and they're going to start doing some role playing. Our first scenario is going to be a person that has Alzheimer's. So Jan is in the role of an Alzheimer's person interacting with Amy and Lori.
My dog Scooter. Oh, there's my dog, and this is my daughter. It's so good to see you, honey. Give me my dog. Give me my dog. I need my dog now. Give me my dog. I can. Thank you. Hi. What a nice dog. Oh, this doesn't feel like a dog.
No, she doesn't.
No.
She's in the middle of contract negotiations for higher wages.
Oh. This is not my dog then. No. Oh, good. Good. Hi. Hi. Can I take her with me? Can I take her? Oh. Hi. Thank you so much.
Good job. So Jan was a little confused. She thought that Amy was her dog, when in fact it's a pig. But Lori did a good job. She didn't contradict her. She didn't put her down for it. She simply just interacted with her, allowed her in a safe way to pet and interact with Amy. All right, we have Stephanie, who is a child in the hospital.
Want to get a little closer, we have Meet the Breed, located in west side of the field center, which is scheduled with the different breeds. Right now, we've got Chanel, we've got Dalmatians.
Visiting with my dog to maybe make you feel better. This is all I'd like to know more.
On over Meet the Breed. Please schedule also our demonstration right now.
Oh, does that make you feel better?
Sammy had to get a little kiss in there. Good job. When the animals are interacting with children or with people that are maybe a little bit more frail, elderly people, fragile people, the handler has to be really aware of that, where they're going to position their dog, making sure that their paws don't come up on that person to accidentally scratch their skin. People with that are on types of blood thinner therapies can make them bleed. So it's really important that the handler handle the dog in a way that's safe around that person. The experience that a lot of us have had interacting with patients in the hospital, we were talking about this just before the demo, how you come in and you see their faces and you see how they're acting, and by the time you leave and they've had that interaction with that animal, it's a totally different person. They're usually more relaxed, smiling. I've had parents who said, this is the first time my child has said anything in the 3 days I've been at the hospital. They've been at the hospital. So it really makes a difference. All right, we are going to have Amy and Lori again. This is going to be Robin and Jan. Robin is a blind person.
So I'm going to work to maneuver Amy up here with the wheelchair, which can be sometimes be tricky. You see, I do use food. Sometimes it just works to do that. So, but typically what I tell people is that when they feel her, they'll feel a paintbrush. It'll feel just like a paintbrush, because that's what it is. That bristle. Yeah, different than a dog. Much different. So, all right. Thank you.
You also have to manage your dog when there's crowds of people. Sometimes when we go into different environments, you might have one person, you might have 5 people. I think I've had as many as 8 at one time trying to pet my dog. So as a handler, I need to manage how that happens. Maybe take turns, maybe why don't you stand over here, everybody will get a turn. With this scenario with Robin, it's important that Lori let her know what she's going to be feeling. So I like that description of it's going to feel like a paintbrush. She might be thinking that she's going to be feeling a nice, fluffy golden retriever, and she reaches out and touches a paintbrush. So it's really important that you describe, and that was a really nice job. Our last scenario is going to be of a reading program. Ingrina is a child at the library. Sammy and Karen are coming in to help them read.
Oh, can I read about the dog? Pet dog?
Yes.
Oh. Look, Sam
get the adults to be out of their shells and be able to act these skills out. But they've all done a nice job. I think that our actors need a great round of applause, first of all. So a lot of times in the reading dog programs, you'll come in and they can even be adult reading dog programs, but a lot of times it's the children to a library or a school. And the reading dog programs really help the kids with their confidence in their reading skills. So part of what happens with the therapy dogs in the reading programs, there's no judgment involved. We don't correct them when they make a wrong word, when they say the wrong thing. A lot of times they'll just want to talk about the pictures, maybe read it to the dog. And they feel much more comfortable talking to and reading to the animal than they do to the human person. So those are some scenarios that we have that we typically will go through. I'm wondering if there's any of our therapy teams that might want to add something about therapy work, maybe some of the information or some of the visits that you've had. They're looking at me like, what? I didn't expect that.
About visits. I visit a local hospital in my community every Monday afternoon, and the patients are usually very happy to see Grady and me. The staff loves the animal. They get probably as much out of the therapy dog as the patients do, because stressed nurses need a little assistance too. We also visit retirement communities, 2 retirement communities, and the seniors really enjoy visiting with a dog. They can't have a dog anymore, they can't take care of a dog anymore, so when they come in, they're really happy to see the animals. It's very rewarding work for both myself and my dog.
Thank you. And I'm glad that she mentioned rewarding work for the handlers. Just like going to your real job, there are some days you don't feel like going. There are a lot of days that I don't feel like going to the hospital with my dog. I've got to groom them, brush them, get there, get my happy face on, and maybe having a bad week. But there's not one time that I haven't gone on those visits in spite of not feeling like it, and I haven't felt better.
I think that the most important part that we must remember is, and Diana being a nurse, is that not only do we bring happiness to the patients at the place that we're visiting, but I find the staff is just as excited in most cases to see us, and they love it.
Okay, I put them on the spot there. So, I want to talk just very briefly about a couple of different organizations. There are a lot of different therapy dog organizations or therapy animal organizations. Therapy Dog Internationals, they register only therapy dog teams. There's Alliance of Therapy Dogs, that's what Jan's involved with, that just also work with dogs. Pet Partners, as I mentioned, has different species that they register. The testing process for all of those organizations is very similar. If you've ever gone through a CGC, Canine Good Citizen, training or evaluation, half of the therapy dog evaluation is that same thing. And then they have to go through parts where they have to interact with people, they have to act clumsily, it might be crowded, petting several people at a time, brushing and grooming. When you do therapy animal work, you must have your dog clean at all times before they go. So that involves grooming them, brushing them. I brush my dog's teeth, they like it. So it is a lot of work, it is a lot of preparation to get your dog going. But once they start the work, if your dog has the aptitude for that, or your animal, you'll find they get as excited as you do when you get out their backpack or their apron or whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Again, I wanted to mention that we are going to have a therapy dog workshop next Saturday, March 18th from 1 to 3:30. In addition, for those of you who have not yet gone through Canine Good Citizen testing or evaluations and you're interested in that, we're also going to have a workshop on that same day, March 18th. That's going to be from 10 a.m. to 12. If you want more information about either the Canine Good Citizen or the therapy animal information, we have booths, one on this side by the obedience rings, one over by the agility. I'll be there for about a half an hour after this, as well as some of the other teams that we have. So please come by and see us, talk to us. We'd be happy to give you some more information. Thanks for coming. I hope that you learned something. I hope it was really fun for you. Thank you.